Alright, so let's create the view, but before we do, I misspelled this. Instead of get, it's only GE without the T, so I'll name it get country by ID, but I also want to name the ID with lowercase d, so it's gonna be capital I and lowercase d. So just a little spelling error. But everything is okay now, so let's create a view. So I'm going to right click and click add view. And we can leave the name as get country by ID. We don't need to pass any model yet, we'll do it later. And uncheck create as partial view. This is not a partial view, this is a full view. So this is going to be our view, get country by ID, not a partial, and using the layout. Click add. And the view was created. The first thing to do is to, of course, add the model to it. And we just want to add the country DTO object from the API. So for the index, we added IEnumerable. In this case, we just want a single object. So it's gonna be add model. And again, we go to book API project dot and then DTOs and then dot the country DTO. So this is going to be our model for this view. And just like we did with the index view for the countries, first thing on the page we want to display are any error messages. So for that, we will use the Asp validation summary for model only, just like we did for the index view. So above the h1 tag, I'll create a div, and it's going to be Asp validation summary. And like I said, we want it model only. Let's make it a class text danger, so it displays red. And this is going to be our model only message. And under that, we can display the viewback message if there is any. So let's create another tag, let's say h4, and display the viewback dot message. Now our header can simply say country details, so I'll rename that. And I'll wrap everything into a div. And after the tag h1, we can do a blank line and start displaying our details for the country. So the first thing, and really the only thing we want to display, is the country name. So I'll create another div, and inside that I'll create a paragraph that will display this information. So the name can be in strong, and we will simply display the country name. And the country name, of course, comes from a model, so add and capital M for model, dot, and here are my options, and I just want the name. We could, of course, also display the ID if we wanted to, but that information is irrelevant to the user, and we don't really want to display it, there's no need for it. So we just display the name. And just like we did in the index view, we can prepare for the future a little and also add a link to update the country as well as to delete the country. And again, creating a new country will have its own link from the main navigation menu. So let's add those links for update and delete. And we already have those in the index view, so I'm going to copy them. So I'll go to Solution Explorer, to Index View, and these are the ones that I want, so I'll simply grab them and modify them in my Get Country by ID. So the first one I want is going to the countries controller, and this one is going to be for the update, so it's going to be update country action. And we can pass the country ID, but this time it's not item, this time it comes from model. And instead of details, we can call it update country. And the delete stays pretty much the same. Again, it's country's controller, delete country action. We pass in the ID, but it's going to be model ID. And the text can say delete country. But since this is going to be a detailed page, I'm going to make it a little prettier, and I'm going to display these links as buttons. So I'll add some button related CSS classes from the bootstrap to these links. So here I will add a class, and the classes for the buttons for the bootstrap are btn. The next one can be btn sm for the small button. And we can change the colors for the buttons. For example, the delete country can have a red button, and the update country will have another color, so we can make this one a primary button. So it's gonna be btn -primary. And let me move this on the new line so you can see the whole code. And I'm gonna copy this class and paste it for the delete link as well. And again, I'll move this to the next line. But this time I don't want the primary button. This time I want it to be danger, so that will make it red because we are deleting a country. Alright, I think we are ready, and let's see what we have when we test this.